My name is Elaine Tama. I live at 8146 Beaver Beck Court in Easton. I am a representative of a group called Plastic Free Easton. We are the group that worked very hard to get this ordinance passed in 2022. The Bring Your Own Bag ordinance passed the council with a unanimous vote in September 2022 and went into effect in April 2023. I want to commend the town government for the success of this bill. The town started out with a press release in January 2023 and did a great job putting information on the town website, including questions about the ordinance, as well as downloadable flyers and branding materials. Also, the Easton Economic Development Corporation pitched in with their own outreach to the business community and raised funds that were used to donate hundreds, well, more than hundreds of bags to local school children. How amazing it is that only a few months after the one-year anniversary of a very successful ordinance, the council president has introduced a new ordinance to remove a whole section from the law. I don't know if this is unprecedented, but it's certainly going to cause a lot of disruption and confusion in our town. We were all very impressed with how seamlessly retailers and their managers and employees hopped on board and how well the rollout went. It's really working, so why would we want to change it? According to surveys done by the Maryland Retailers Association and the Sierra Club, if there is no fee on paper bags, the majority of shoppers will use them. Also, according to the Retailers Association, the stores will incur huge cost increases to pay for those paper bags. The increase in this overhead cost will end up being distributed in increased prices for groceries. So we'll all end up paying more for our groceries than we already are. The fee is a great financial incentive to bring your own bag. It works. The town showed it cared about the environment when it passed the plastic bag ordinance to stop the plastic bags from polluting our roadways, waterways, and fields. Paper bags are made from trees. Cutting down more trees exacerbates climate warming, air, and water pollution. Without the fee, there would be a massive increase in paper bags being used. We didn't want to go from free plastic bags to free paper bags, effectively going from one type of environmental problem to another. We need a more livable climate for our children and grandchildren's future. One more thing. More trash from paper waste bags will raise the cost of trash collection and ultimately our taxes. We urge you to vote against any changes in this very successful law. Thank you.
If there are any other members of the public who wish to address the council, please state your name or the organization you represent.
My name is Ronald Lesher. I'm a private individual. I've lived in this county for more than 3 decades, and at least more than 2 of those decades, I've used bags like this in all of my shopping. I've been a teacher in this county. I'm known as Dr. Lesher to most of those teachers, most of those students. I want to urge all of you on the council to read a book about the amount of plastic that is in the ocean and in our waters, invisible to all of us. It's a horrible thing. That book is entitled Moby Duck. I know it sounds like Moby Dick, and there are quotes from Moby Dick in that book. But this individual who wrote this traveled the oceans looking at the amount of plastic in our oceans and learning about how that moves around the world. You really need to understand that. And I'd like to present this bag to you, Mr. Gonzalez.
It's okay, I've been using my own reusable bag for
The next
15
person
years.
that says they can't afford that 10 cents, please give that to them.
Sure, thank you. If there are any other members of the public, please state your name or organization you represent.
My name is Sherry Wilcoxon. I don't represent an organization. I live on Waverly Road in Easton. I'm actually very stunned at some of the comments that I've heard here. I don't know why people are afraid of freedom of choice. Why don't you let the merchants decide if they want to charge or not? What's wrong with that? And then the people can decide where they want to shop. Why is that frightening for everyone? Maybe that'll back up Councilman Montgomery's point that it's not as popular as some groups might have you think. I will tell you, I don't know who you're talking to, and I don't know who you're talking to, but every single time I walk into a store, I ask every single person I pass and every person I check out with, what's going on with these bags? Are people happy? Are they popular? Oh no, people hate it. People can't stand it. I've seen mothers with babies who forget their bags, have their groceries, and then they have to go and unload groceries into their trunk of their car with 2 little babies in tow. I'm sorry, but people aren't thinking about everybody when they're doing this. I see right here on this little dais, caring fairness. Where is that fair? Where is it fair? I actually have a relative who, if she had to pay for everything, utilities, her cell phone and everything, she couldn't afford it. And everybody's laughing at 10 cents, 10 cents. It's not 10 cents. It's 10 cents times how many times you go to the grocery store, times how many bags, times whatever. And by the way, not one retailer lowered one price when we had to start paying them 10 cents. Does anybody know that? Did anybody shop at any of the stores that gave bags away, brown bags, paper bags? They didn't lower their prices. I'm stunned, and I actually, I don't want to call anybody not being truthful, but anybody who says not one single person has says they aren't happy with this, I actually struggle to believe that. So, and by the way, who are we to decide what people's priorities and obligations are? Who actually are y'all to say that you know better than they do where their money needs to be spent? Is that really what y'all are about in this town? And you don't just represent the town, because almost every big grocery store is in the town, but the county is part of that. So you're actually representing everybody in this county as well. And I don't know if you've driven around the county. Have you? Have you talked to anybody in the county? But there's plenty of people in the county that may not be quite as well off as those who can afford to live in town. And by the way, Councilman Curry, I don't know, maybe did you read the bill you wrote and that you voted for, but there's a penalty on retailers if they give away bags. You suggested a little while ago that they just give away a bag if somebody's struggling so much. That's not an option. There's actually a penalty built into that bill. Also, all of you who think those bags last forever,
Thank you.
so they get soiled by chicken and meat drippings and people throw them away. So again, I want to say, why are you afraid of freedom? Why are you afraid of letting the merchant decide for themselves if they want to charge or not? Nobody's saying they can't charge. We're only saying it's not mandatory and you won't be penalized if you're charged. So I don't understand one reason why you're afraid to vote for freedom.